There's one thing I would like to bring into the consideration which is very decisive, that everyone who sincerely mean for a healthy future for humanity has to reconsider our idea of good and bad, because that is one of the very, very basic factors which will be making all the difference. Because in deeper consideration, sooner or later you may come to see, and that's why I say, don't just believe what I'm saying, but consider on your own. Because your conscious consideration, especially all those who mean well and who sincerely would like to contribute to the development in the world, this will be very significant. Normally it is considered that there is absolutely good people and absolutely bad people, as if the bad is some very fixed quality of someone, and that is very basic. But those who will look more carefully and deeply will sooner or later come to realize that the badness, or those whom we call bad, are those who have not yet come to the right understanding of that what is good. And I can say this because when you look into the nature of our reality, deep within, everyone is essentially good and part of the wonder. But we can get into very disbalanced, very entangled, very trapped states of perception that we can become very destructive. And that is what we need to understand basically. And why is it very important? Because we are going on in this approach of fighting the bad. Fighting the bad blindly, we ourselves get more entangled in unsensibility and destructive processes. You have to understand the nature of that what is bad, so that you don't go into a blind fighting, but you use your intelligent and sensible ways of answering to the challenge. So the second thing which is connected with this is also how we approach punishment. That is very important to understand this very deeply, because when we are punishing someone who has been very unsensitive, have been very destructive, very graceless, in a feeling of anger, in a feeling of revengefulness, in a feeling of hate, want to destroy the other, it is not the right understanding. It is important to see that doing a fighting, blind, hateful approach towards those who are unsensible and destructive, you may feel justified for it, but it is strengthening the blindness in ourselves and in the other. So it is very, very important that although on one side we have to take care that those who are unsensible and destructive are not getting more trapped and more entangled and going in their destructive processes blindly. So steps can be taken, steps need to be taken, that it is not supported, that there are some preventive measures for that. But there should not be the approach of punishment where this person is only made to get fixed in another layer of the idea of badness. The person is pushed back more into the belief that he or she is bad. And this is very, very important because the badness has to be confronted and understood. But when we want to bring about a healthy development in the world, for a peaceful coexistence, for a life which is more harmonious, we need to bring attention to all these areas. Then we will see that our attempt should be to help those who have gone in the wrong direction, who have got themselves trapped into all kinds of misunderstandings and projections, to understand, to see, to consider more deeply. It is not so easy. It's easier said than done. I am aware of that also. But that should be the basic orientation and approach, so that we don't react unsensibility with unsensibility. We don't react to hate and destructiveness and violence with the same entanglement within ourselves. We need to reconsider the good and the bad. We need to consider the approach of punishment. And that will bring about a very deep way of answering to the challenges, answering to the conflicts, answering to the problems on individual and global level. This is very urgent, very important, because we are going on in a very destructive process, and you can see all over the world the polarization is becoming more, because everybody is pushing each other into the same blind way of reacting. So only those who consider more carefully, consider more deeply, and see that it is not a question of trying to feel themselves superior to anybody, trying to put themselves in a way that we have the right to hurt and punish somebody because somebody has been so horrible and unsensible and falling into the same trap, but really allowing the intelligence, allowing their sensibility of the heart, and allowing the humanness in themselves to come into the manifestation in the way the challenges are confronted. And this is possible, this is required, and this is decisive.